You may have missed this, but an unusual thing happened in the country's highest court on Thursday. In the courtroom of Chief Justice of India, Hindustan Gavai, he felt the need to clarify his remarks. India's senior-most judge, the person who's the head of the judiciary, felt the need to tell the country that he respects all religions. Why did he need to do that? Let me tell you why, because the answer is revelatory. Before this story, a short aside to explain Justice Gavai's background. Justice Gavai is only the second Dalit to hold this high office and represents a marginalized community member's aspirational journey to the top. He's a practicing Buddhist and will be in office till November, a tenure of 6 months. I give you this context because it will help you really understand what happened on Tuesday and its fallout. While hearing a petition along with Justice K. Vinod Chandran to restore a Vishnu idol in Khajuraho of Madhya Pradesh, the bench ruled that the issue fell within the jurisdiction of the Archaeological Survey of India and not the Supreme Court. That was the official order while dismissing the plea. But then Justice Gavai commented, and I quote, "Go and ask the deity itself to do something now. You say you are a staunch devotee of Lord Vishnu, so go and pray now. It's an archaeological site and ASI needs to give permission, etc. Sorry." Now, this wasn't officially part of the order. That was asking the petitioner to go to the ASI because why would the Supreme Court get into the jurisdiction of maintenance of a monument? But because the Chief Justice said it, it was reported by all digital and mainstream media like us, and that's when the trouble started. On social media, Justice Gavai was trolled for what some saw as an insult to Hindutva. One lawyer wrote a letter urging him to withdraw his remarks, while one self-proclaimed Hindutva group said, and I quote, "The chair gives you authority to uphold justice, not to mock the faith of millions," unquote. Some of the comments were genuine expressions of hurt, asking the CJI to take back his words, while some Ambedkarite organizations expressed support for him. Some were vile, indicative of the worst of the internet, attacking him personally and his family, while others openly said that Gavai was attacking Hinduism because he himself was a Buddhist. Now, I spoke to senior lawyers to understand why the CJI said what he said. There are a couple of things to keep in mind here. First, judges like making asides. They have no other platform for letting people know about themselves. They're not supposed to speak to the media. They don't do interviews or press conferences. And so these asides are what could be seen as an attempt at humor. They are an outlet for their personality. Now, the traditional view is that the only personality you show as a judge is in writing of your judgment. But in a way, judges could be seen to be human, and so these asides have been helpful in giving us insight into their personality. More on throwaway comments in just a bit. First, let's get back to what happened with Justice Gavai. So, the trolling was in full flow of our Chief Justice when this happened on Thursday afternoon. It was post-lunch. So after 2 p.m., when during a hearing on Karnataka mines, amicus curiae Shyam Devan mentioned that he didn't like the comments being made about a particular authority. On cue, the CJI said that he knew how that felt, and then came the clarification. I quote, "Someone told me the other day that the comments I made have been portrayed in social media in a certain manner. I respect all religions." Some of the country's top lawyers were coincidentally in court, although not in the Karnataka matter. The Solicitor General Tushar Mehta called it serious and said that while everyone knew Newton's law, every action has equal and opposite reaction, but now every action has a disproportionate social media reaction. Another senior lawyer, and often his adversary in court, Kapil Sibal, said, "We suffer every day. This is an unruly horse, and there appears to be no way to tame it." The matter ended in 5 minutes or so, with CJI further clarifying the petition was not entertained because there were strong legal grounds to do so. There was absolutely no intention to cause hurt to anyone's faith or religious beliefs. So that's why the CJI was trolled and had to clarify. But there are a couple of things that I want to observe on this entire episode. So here goes. 1. Social media has forced our judiciary to perhaps be careful and accountable. Now, this episode is very unfortunate, and Justice Gavai may have been genuinely joking, but often judges make flippant comments and then complain when it's reported. If their words are said in an open courtroom, then they have to be reported. Forget hurting Hindu sentiments. A senior constitutional lawyer told me that by making this comment about praying to Lord Vishnu, what kind of messaging was the CJI sending to the various matters of faith that keep coming up in the court? Has this remark now made his position precarious in such cases? Justice Gavai isn't the only one. Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud was also trolled for an observation during the Gyan Vapi case hearing in 2022. And in 2021, Tushar Mehta had to also support Chief Justice Bobde, who was trolled and had to clarify that he had not seriously suggested a rape accused marry the complainant. So it's a lesson that all that our honorable judges say, they are also being judged very openly by the public. Second, apparently judges give an impression that they stay away from the news, that they're not on social media. This episode clearly shows that they may not directly be on social media platforms, but they certainly track it and are very conscious of their image. And finally, the big takeaway, the shrinking space to say anything that is short of reverential in matters of faith. There is absolutely nothing to suggest that the CJI's remarks were anything other than an attempt at levity, and no evidence of the allegation that he wanted to attack the Hindu faith. If our country's topmost judge isn't safe from trolling, what hope do you and I have?